How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Truman Bradley. It's difficult to believe that while I'm sitting at this desk, this room is moving at the amazing speed of 66,000 miles an hour. That's the constant speed of the Earth as it moves around the sun. Yes, even while standing still, we're moving from place to place. A jet plane leaves New York at 12 o'clock noon, flying at the speed of 780 miles an hour, and arrives in Chicago at 11:55, 5 minutes before it took off, flying faster than the time difference between the two cities. Which brings us to our story concerning time and the man of tomorrow. No, this is not a man of tomorrow, nor some movie monster created to chill you. This is a gadget, an automatic man, a very useful experimental machine belonging to the Garrett Corporation and designed by a brilliant young engineer, Harvey Chapman Jr. of Glendale. Inside this machine there are hundreds of small motors, component parts of many airplane control devices, each with the capacity to replace certain human functions. What can this machine do? Handle dangerous chemicals. Or radioactive isotopes too hot for the ordinary man. Or touch live wires without ever getting hurt. Someday soon, we'll have an automatic man around the house to mow the lawn, dry the dishes, drive the car, and babysit when we go out. That's for tomorrow or the day after. But tomorrow may come soon. This is the world of modern man. He builds planes flying faster than sound, speedways with no red lights to stop him in his hurry, comfortable houses with hundreds of gadgets to make life more perfect. Our hero, Al Brown, lives in one of these modern houses.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Who was that?
Colonel Peterson at the field. The test plane won't be ready till Monday.
Oh, that's wonderful, dear.
That's what I told the colonel. A whole weekend and nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
Uh-oh.
This garbage disposal's having trouble breathing again, and you've got to check the wiring on my clothes dryer. I've blown out 2 fuses already this week, and you promised.
Nellie, I haven't seen a single game all season, and there's one on TV in 15 minutes.
And the lawn needs a haircut and a manicure. Look at it.
Say, they fixed up that house pretty well next door, haven't they?
Hey, look.
What's the matter?
Shh. There goes our mysterious Mr. X again.
Does he always do that?
Every single time. I haven't said hello to either of them, nor has anyone else on the block.
Well, as an old resident, it's your duty to walk over and greet him.
I did yesterday. When he went out shopping, I went over and rang the bell. I could hear her bustling around inside, but she never came to the door. I can take a hint.
Well, maybe she's just shy.
They could be criminals hiding out from the law.
Uh-huh. They could be newlyweds just hiding out from snoopy neighbors.
Why, we never acted that way when we were newlyweds. Here, you're wearing the plate out. I'll finish the job.
Okay, honey, you're the boss. Honey, are you using any electrical equipment?
No.
Yes?
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a peeping Tom, but the noise of that machine.
The sonic broom? What about it?
Well, as I say, the noise of... What'd you call it? A sonic broom.
Nothing to get excited about. Any housewife can use one.
Well, I know, but I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's weird. It's fantastic.
Works by remote control. Would you like to see it?
Yes, I would.
It's a new principle of mine. I invented it. Pressure of the noise under the hemisphere disintegrates the refuse.
Well, how does it work?
Well,
Never mind. You don't have to tell me how it works. I'm an inventor myself. Haven't produced anything, but I certainly understand.
I hope you won't tell anybody else about this.
Okay. Oh, by the way, my name's Al Brown. I'm your next-door neighbor.
Mine's Ted Heller.
Fine.
Oh, by the way, why did you ring my doorbell?
Oh, well, I was trying to get a game on TV, and a funny pattern kept flickering across the tube. Well, now I think it was from this sonic broom.
Well, I won't use it anymore today.
Oh, no, I don't want to put you out any.
Oh, the house is clean.
Okay.
Right.
He's an inventor.
An inventor? Oh, no.
I'll tell you one thing, honey. You can throw away your vacuum cleaner. Our friend next door has invented a gadget that will make him the sweetheart of the American housewife. And a sonic broom.
A what?
You don't have to do a thing to it. You put it on the floor and it cleans by itself.
Oh.
Shaped like a big egg.
You're making fun of me.
Now, look, honey, there are some inventors that invent. I've seen the thing work.
How does it work?
Holy smoke, the game. Hold it, Dad. Carburetor's flooded. Lift up the hood. The hood. Pull out that lever in the corner.
Oh, good.
Got a flashlight in the car?
Flashlight. Oh, you mean the light? Oh, it's in the house.
Well, never mind. I've got one in the workshop.
Oh, my wife will bring mine.
No sense bothering her. I'll get mine.
Yeah, but
Watch out, darling. Be careful what you say.
got to stop being afraid, Anne. Seems all right. I'd like you to meet him.
You can't be sure.
I've got mine.
It was certainly a quick response. I didn't hear you call her.
You didn't?
No, I hope I didn't frighten her away.
Oh, no, it's just that she's shy.
Oh, newlyweds?
Yes, married a few months.
Well, that figures. Here, will you hold this for me?
See anything?
No, not yet. Oh, here we are. Loose connection. There. Well, it should run now. Try it.
Thanks a lot.
Not at all. Glad to help.
You gonna build me one of those sonic brooms?
Ted couldn't start his car.
What?
Nell, how long have you been driving?
Oh, about 7 years.
Do you know which knob on the dashboard releases the hood?
Well, certainly.
Can you spot a disconnected wire?
Certainly. I suppose so, anyway.
But Ted Heller couldn't.
I thought you said he was an inventor.
And then his wife
What about her?
was suddenly appeared with a flashlight, and he didn't even have a chance to ask her for it.
You mean she was reading his mind?
Boy, it sure seemed that way.
You're really inventing things. There it goes again.
Darling, how many times have I told you got too many gadgets coming out from one outlet?
Well, can you fix it?
Yes, I can fix it. on down here. Hurry up. Look.
Well, how'd you do that?
Hold out your hand.
What?
Hold out your hand.
It's frightening.
I must have picked up Ted Heller's flashlight by mistake.
Ted Heller's flashlight?
First the sonic broom, and now this. Really works, doesn't it?
Turn it off. Turn it off. Please, Al, turn it off. It's frightening.
Nell, who is Ted Heller?
I don't know.
Where does he come from? And what's he doing here?
Strange that an inventor cannot spot a loose wire. And where did he get the X-ray flashlight? And it is even stranger that when Al is trying to take it apart, it appears to be one piece of solid metal. But what kind of metal? It's so hard that Al's screwdriver cannot even scratch it.
It has no batteries.
Then how does it work?
Well, I don't know. Unless this wire picks electricity right out of the...
Stop that!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry, but I've never seen a sonic broom or an X-ray flashlight before.
Neither has anyone else.
Well, I said I'm sorry.
It's just that I haven't applied for my patents yet. Look, let's just forget about it.
Oh, well, excuse me. You've never met my wife. This is Nell, Ted Heller.
How do you do, Ted?
How do you do? Look, I apologize for barging in like this.
Oh, that's all right. Ted, are you and your wife free this evening?
Well,
Why don't you come over and spend the evening with us?
Sure.
Well,
You know, just because you're newlyweds is no reason for you to act like hermits.
And we promise not to pry.
all right, thanks.
You know, Al is an inventor, too. Of course, he hasn't invented anything yet, but he keeps trying. You two boys should have a lot in common. Al, why don't you show him what you're doing?
Well, would you like to see?
Yes, I would.
I'll leave you two inventors alone.
Oh, sure. We've looked at a few problems. Speed twice that of sound, planes reaching a height of 20 miles, but you see, those are all small victories. The big problem is the low melting point of metal alloys. Now, I'm trying to find a metal that'll withstand heat and pressure at supersonic speeds.
That's a good idea. Hey, tell me, this plane factory where you work, where does it get its power supply?
There's a power plant beyond the airfield.
Oh, yes, I've noticed 4 transformers. What's the output of those transformers?
Well, I really don't know.
And the radar tower, where does it get its power from?
From the same source. In case of emergency, they use a small generator.
What do you mean by emergency?
Well, a power failure. Let's say in case of an enemy attack, Boulder Dam is destroyed. The radar tower can still operate on its own.
Does your factory have its own generator?
I'm not allowed to say that. I know you're not a spy, but that's information that's strictly restricted.
But don't the force fields created by all these power sources interfere with your experiments here?
Of course not. Come on over here, I want to show you the wind tunnel. Now, this is a little crude, but it really works. Now, I'm going to set these dials at 4 times the speed of sound and an altitude of 40,000 feet. Now, let's see what happens. Now, above the speed of sound, the skin temperature rises to a degree hot enough to fry anybody and melt the strongest metal known. So, Dr. Heller, our problem is how to keep from getting fried and melted. The answer must be somewhere. An alloy which under speed and pressure becomes cold instead of hot.
Have you tried a corbolite?
A corbolite? What the devil's a corbolite?
I gotta run. I promised Dan I'd get something from the store, and I forgot all about it. See you.
A corbolite?
That's delicious cake, Mrs. Brown. I don't believe I've ever tasted anything like it before.
Well, thank you, Ted, but please call me Nell.
I wish I could make something like this. I'm afraid I'm not a very good cook.
Well, there's really nothing to it, Ann. All you need is a recipe, and I'm just the gal that can give it to you. Come on out in the kitchen while I make more coffee, and we'll have some girl talk.
All right.
I'm sure the boys have plenty they can talk about.
Who are you?
My name's Ted Heller.
You know what I mean.
I thought you weren't going to pry.
I can't help it. First the sonic broom, then the X-ray flashlight.
So?
I looked up a corbolite in my science dictionary and I couldn't find it. What is it?
It's a new alloy. A blend of cobalt, carbon, and another element. I read about it in one of those scientific magazines.
Oh? Which one?
Well, I forget. There's so many of them.
I see. Well, I've got quite a collection of scientific textbooks. Would you care to look at any of them?
Yes, I would. It'd be a pleasure. What's this?
Oh, I'm a great science fiction fan.
Science fiction?
Yeah. Nell gave me that as a gag at my last birthday. This is the man of tomorrow.
Very interesting.
You know, I often wondered what the world of tomorrow will be like.
Not very much fun, I'm afraid.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I figure in, well, let's say 500 years, civilization will be so over-mechanized, so completely a world of science that all the fun and emotion will have gone out of living. Not enough time for love, motherhood, playing games. Everything is science.
Not a pretty picture, is it? It sounds logical. It looks like we're heading in that direction more and more every day.
Not a thing you can do to stop it, even if you wanted to.
But if you suppress people long enough, there's bound to be an explosion. Some anti-science movement.
Well, I don't think so. You know, as a matter of fact, I've been toying with the idea of writing a science fiction story myself on exactly this subject.
You have? Well, I'd like to hear it.
Well, it's not completely worked out yet.
No, I'm keenly interested. I'd like to hear it.
All right. Well, in my story, instead of an anti-science movement developing, exactly the opposite happens. Somebody invents a time travel device.
A time travel device?
Yes. Well, after all, time is only a place.
Time is only a place? Time is only a place. It's a very interesting way of putting it. It's a very good idea.
Yes, isn't it? Well,
Looks like we're going to get a little rain. We can sure use it.
I thought there was very little rain in this part of the country.
There is. That's why we can use it. Now, you were saying that time is only... Been hit pretty close. Better close the windows.
What made the lights flicker?
Well, I suppose the transformer shorted out and the automatic switch changed to another transformer. Looks like a bad one. Maybe you better run across and close your windows.
Oh, we never open our windows. Tell me, have all the transformers ever failed?
Well, twice as far back as I can remember. Once in an earthquake and once in an electrical storm. But let's get back to this story of yours.
Yes, where was I?
You were saying someone invented a time travel device.
Oh, yes. Well, in the story, time travel sets hit the world with tremendous impact. People everywhere were discovering the thrill of going back to simpler, more peaceful times, where life was worth living again. Naturally, the inevitable happened, you can guess.
No. What?
That's easy. People stopped coming back. Why return? Each had found his favorite place and time. Why not stay there? Why come back to what?
It's a fascinating idea. But it's full of flaws.
I'm sure it is. What are they?
Well, for one thing, wouldn't those people in early times notice a sudden increase in population?
Oh, I don't think so. No, you see, if you spread the world's population over the thousands of preceding years, why, at any one time or place, it wouldn't be more than a drop in the bucket. Besides, these people would know from history books how to adapt themselves to that particular time.
I see. Does make sense. I like it. Is that all of your story?
No, not quite. You see, the rulers of tomorrow realize that soon there'll be no one left in the world.
Yes.
So they decree time travel illegal. And they send out investigators to track down those who have escaped.
How do they do that?
Each person is born with a different set of mental vibrations. And these wavelengths can be traced, just like fingerprints.
That's a pretty good touch. But I think you should have a little twist to the story. Is there any way to avoid detection?
Yes, there is. Hide in an area filled with electronic circuits and magnetic force fields.
You know, Ted, if I were the man of tomorrow hiding from the future, this would be an ideal hiding place to confuse my pursuers. The radar approach to the airfield is directly overhead. The power plant is beyond the airport. The factory's off.
Oh, it's all right, Ann. Everything is going to be all right.
You've got to get us out of here. You've got to.
Ann, you've got to control yourself. Everything's going to be all right.
Well, what happened?
I don't know, Al. We were in the kitchen
It's
talking.
just that Ann is frightened of electrical storms.
Well, can we do anything?
Oh, I think I'd better take her home. You all right now, Ann?
Yes. I'm sorry I spoiled your evening. I'm so ashamed of myself.
Oh, please don't feel that way. I'll come over early in the morning. We'll try that new recipe.
Look, why don't you go out the back way and I'll get you some raincoats.
Still thinking about Ted's story?
I think it was a story of Ted and Ann.
You've been reading so much science fiction, you're beginning to believe it. There's a light.
Everything went dark.
What's the matter?
I don't know, but I don't like it. Power's back on again.
Look.
Ted? Ann? Better wait here, honey. Ted! Ann! They're gone.
But their car's still here. We better call the police.
No, I don't think the police can find them. I don't think anyone can find them. I don't think they were ever here. He said, time is just a place.
We've crossed the sound barrier. Are we ever going to cross the time barrier? Is time only a place? Something to think about. I hope you enjoyed our story. We'll be back with you a week from today with another exciting adventure from the world of fiction and science. Until then, this is your host, Truman Bradley, saying, see you next week.